Shravan Sen, who will get us the day's most exclusive story. Shravan, over to you.
Well, thank you very much, Shivangi. On This Is Exclusive, a story that we have been tracking right from day one with all exclusives. Once again, we're getting to you stunning details of the investigation that is underway in West Bengal. Up first, these are the headlines we're going to track. Stunning black diary with explosive details emerge in the Bengal cash scam. Black diary recovered from Orpita's residence. The Bengal cash scam is only getting bigger. Another Trinamool Congress MLA, Manik Bhattacharya, has now been summoned. Vadra Congress resorts to massive drama. Rahul Gandhi detained as Sonia's quizzing underway. After two consecutive suicide cases, another alleged suicide case reported in Tamil Nadu's Kargil district. Shortly after submitting his resignation to the Punjab Chief Minister, Punjab Attorney General Anmol Ratan Sidhu speaks to Republic. Tonight on this edition of This Is Exclusive, we're getting you a story that we've been tracking very closely. Right from day one, when the searches were basically carried out in the state of West Bengal, we were the first to tell you that there were wads of cash that were found from Orpita Mukherjee, alleged close associate of former Education Minister Partho Chatterjee. We were the first to tell you that yes, there is an envelope with a Ministry of Education insignia that was recovered from Orpita's residence. Tonight, we're getting you more developments in that very case. I would say a sensational development in the Bengal cash scam case. The Enforcement Directorate has now recovered a black diary from West Bengal Minister Partho Chatterjee's aide, Orpita Mukherjee's residence. The diary has set to bear explosive details pertaining to the SSC recruitment scam. Republic has now learnt that this diary has information pertaining to the names of illegal recruits who need to be included in the merit list, as well as how much money would be passed from what location. In fact, we've got the entire seizure list. In that, two significant developments. One about that very packet that was recovered from Orpita Mukherjee's residence, which had the insignia of the Ministry of Education. We had the video, but we did not know what was inside that envelope. The document that has been accessed by Republic TV tells us that 5 lakh rupees, you've heard it right, 5 lakh rupees was recovered from that very packet that was found from Orpita Mukherjee's residence. The other big development happens to be a black diary. Last evening we told you that they had recovered. Tonight we're telling you the full details. What exactly is there in that particular black diary? We'll try and go across to my colleague Priyanka, who's been also tracking the story very closely. Priyanka, everyone wants to know what's there in that black diary. Last evening we had reported that this diary was recovered. At that point in time, we did not know what was there. Tonight, we have full details of what's inside that particular diary, and also the recovery that was made from Orpita's residence with regards to a packet with the Ministry of Education insignia, and the documents now indicating that 5 lakh rupees, that's the amount that was recovered. I am also joined by my colleague, a senior editor from the Republic newsroom. Mayuk is joining us, but let me come to you first, Priyanka. The details that is emerging right now in the case, and then I'll go across to Mayuk for further details.
Well, that's That's right, Shravan. You've pointed it out as to what's really happened with the investigation so far as well, because we have been seeing that the raids that had been conducted on the residence of Partha Chatterjee and Arpita Mukherjee as well, and the kind of seizures that had been made, the seizure list as well that we have exclusively accessed, and we have seen how the kind of questioning as well that was being done. And another telling sign of the kind of investigation that will be done going forward by the Enforcement Directorate is the summons that has also been sent to Manik Bhattacharya, who is another TMC MLA, but also importantly that he has been the ex-president of the West Bengal Education Board as well, and now we are seeing the kind of investigation and the interrogation being done by the ED with respect to the money laundering and the kind of seizures that had been made. Now we had been learning since morning that Partha Chatterjee and Arpita Mukherjee's statements were being recorded separately, and then they were supposed to be jointly interrogated. They were to be confronted. They are going to be in fact confronted with each other's statements. They are going to be asked about the documents that you rightly pointed out that had the insignia of the West Bengal government, and that is why we are seeing the kind of links that the ED is finding out between Partha Chatterjee and Arpita Mukherjee as well. They had tried to create this distance. Partha Chatterjee had tried to create, the TMC in fact has also tried to create the distance between this entire scandal that has broken out. But now we are seeing more and more names of the TMC that is coming out, including Manik Bhattacharya, who has been summoned for tomorrow to the Enforcement Directorate. But apart from that, he had also been called by the CBI earlier, and he had been interrogated. He had been questioned about this entire scandal earlier as well. As far as the ED is concerned, they are looking into the money laundering probe. They're looking at the dubious financial transactions that were being carried out, and of course the kind of cash that has been recovered from Arpita's house, how it is the proceeds of crime from this entire scandal, and also how this cash was being laundered via several companies, and how Partha Chatterjee in fact with the help of Arpita Mukherjee had been amassing huge properties as well and lining his own pockets when it comes to the entire scandal that had also come out. So all of that is under the purview of the investigation of the Enforcement Directorate as of now, and of course tomorrow explosive details also might come out with respect to the SSC scandal and the link between the dubious financial transactions with respect to Manik Bhattacharya's questioning his summons in fact, and how he will be questioned about the link of this entire investigation.
Let me also bring in my colleague Mayuk, who's been tracking the story very closely. Mayuk, a lot of details now emerging. One, from the questioning of Arpita Mukherjee and Partha Chatterjee. I'm given to understand, Mayuk, that both of them were brought together. Questioning has actually taken place. And also one very interesting detail that's emerging, Mayuk, that is with regards to a joint property bought back in the year 2012. I'm told that Partha Chatterjee bought it, but it is in the name of Partha Chatterjee and Arpita Mukherjee. Now, that's going to be a massive clincher for the Enforcement Directorate. What more can you tell us?
Well, absolutely, Shravan. The more skeletons are tumbling out of the closet. When we started this investigation, we started this entire coverage. We saw that 23 crore rupees, 22 and 50 lakh rupees were seized by the Enforcement Directorate. But then the Enforcement Directorate admitted in court that it's not about 23 crore rupees only. It's about more than 100 crore rupees. Along with that, movable and immovable properties worth crores of rupees. While doing our investigation, while sending our reporters in several places, we not just came across properties, beauty salons, homes, apartments, as well as joint properties of Arpita Mukherjee as well as Partha Chatterjee, but also properties linked to Partha Chatterjee's relatives also. That is also under the scanner of the officers, as well as Arpita Mukherjee, who has always been a very high-profile demeanor. We have seen Arpita Mukherjee joining hands, shaking hands with one of the top political personalities, the circuit in Bengal, and along with that, she used to maintain a very costly lifestyle. And all things are also coming under the radar. Partha Chatterjee and Arpita's involvement, the financial transaction, that is what the ED officers are curiously monitoring. What Priyanka said about the black diary, along with a pocket diary, that is also under monitoring, and the investigating officers are calling decoders who can decode all the cryptic writings, the text, the numericals, all these things that has been written in the diary. And most importantly, my colleague Priyanka is also investigating in this entire thing. There are certain names in Bengali that will also be under the scanner. The certain names, certain prefixes are there, which are really bringing curiosity out. And most importantly, the monetary transaction in the last 5 years. Also, a very important thing that is also that what we are getting in from our sources is that Partha Chatterjee's election affidavit of 2021 election. Partha Chatterjee is a sitting minister as well as the Trinamool Secretary General. So Partha Chatterjee's election affidavit will also be under the scanner, and that will also be tallied with the Caesar list from Partha Chatterjee's home, the Caesar list from Arpita Mukherjee's home. Arpita Mukherjee's home had a lot of files, evidence, and most importantly, the envelopes where clearly the insignia, the government insignia was seen. The logo of the education department was there. Education department's name and designations were there. So all these things is going to create trouble for Partha Chatterjee as well as other influentials who may get into the radar, because we have broken the story in Republic Bangla where Manik Bhattacharya, also one of the portfolio members of Education Department, and an MLA, the MLA from Nadia, he has also been summoned. So another TMC MLA has been summoned. Shravan, this specific case where 13 people are primarily involved, 13 people are primarily accused, this may create a huge thing for the Trinamool Congress as well as for the sitting government, because of the fact that this is not just about 23 crore rupees. This is not just about two people getting arrested. The main thing is going to be started in the evening. However, according to the court order, Arpita cannot be interrogated after 9 p.m., but Partha Chatterjee can. So Partha Chatterjee's prolonged interrogation is going to be some clincher, evidence clincher. And Partha Chatterjee is also naming a few people. That is also very interesting. And that is what we are getting in from our sources, is that Partha Chatterjee is naming very influential people also. So whether these people are politically connected, whether these people are also in charge of the monetary involvement, that will also be part of the investigation. Back to Shravan.
Let me also bring in Priyanka right now. Priyanka, with regards to what has basically transpired in the court so far, the Enforcement Directorate has certainly got a shot in the arm with the kind of recoveries that they have made. But it turns out that more and more number of people are now being called in for questioning. What's the latest update that you're getting?
Well, the fact of the matter is, Shravan, the kind of legal arguments that had been presented before the court by the Enforcement Directorate really told us the kind of trajectory of the investigation that is being carried out now with respect to Partha Chatterjee and Arpita Mukherjee as well. Of course, the seizures that had been made are, of course, going to be something that will be used to interrogate Partha Chatterjee and Arpita Mukherjee as well. And the documents itself that had been seized, that you have rightly pointed out, had the West Bengal government insignia. Now, that is also another very crucial piece of evidence which is also going to be used for interrogation of Partha Chatterjee and Arpita Mukherjee as well. Now, this has been mentioned in the court during the time that ED had been seeking remand for Arpita Mukherjee. Just yesterday we have seen that the Enforcement Directorate had talked about all of these points inside of the courtroom and had said that this is why they need the custody of Arpita Mukherjee and Partha Chatterjee as well. And as you had been pointing out since morning as well, Shravan, that both of the accused would be also interrogated together so that they can be confronted together. And of course, 9 days of custody as of now that both of the accused have been given to for Enforcement Directorate and for them to carry out this questioning. But apart from that, the investigation is also getting wider. We have seen that more names that were emerging. Now, this has also been mentioned by the Enforcement Directorate inside of the courtroom, where they said that this is not just Partha Chatterjee as well. And of course, we have seen that another name of the TMC MLA, Manik Bhattacharya, has also come to light, who had been the ex-president, who is in fact the ex-president of the West Bengal Primary Education Board. And that is why we see a very crucial link now that will perhaps also emerge with respect to the dubious financial transactions, the money laundering charges, but also the SSC scandal that had been investigated, that was being investigated, and the line of questioning that was done by the CBI earlier with Manik Bhattacharya and Partha Chatterjee as well. So we see a very crucial point of this investigation emerging by the Enforcement Directorate, and of course we see that the Enforcement Directorate has 8 more days, and perhaps more information will come out with respect to this entire scandal and the financial transactions that were being done by Partha Chatterjee.
Well, thank you very much, Priyanka, for getting us the latest details. We'll be tracking the story very closely. In a short while from now, we'll be coming up with our ground investigation, a story that you perhaps cannot miss. Let's move on to the other big story on This Is Exclusive. This is coming in from the state of Tamil Nadu. In the last 2 weeks alone, the state of Tamil Nadu has witnessed 3 alleged suicides of students. The third case has been reported in the Kargil district, wherein a 12th standard student was found dead. A case of suspicious death registered by the police, and further investigation is on. This comes just a day after a class 12 student of a higher secondary school in Tiruvallur district was found dead at her hostel. Republic brings you the report on the consecutive death by suicides, along with the grief-stricken family in Tiruvallur suicide case.
Another incident of a school suicide has now surfaced in the state of Tamil Nadu in Kadalur district. In Virudhachalam municipality, a class 12 girl called Sivagami has hanged herself to death at her house when her parents were not there. When the parents returned to the house, they were in shock to see their child hanging. When the relatives and the neighbors rushed to the spot, the parents have immediately arranged for a funeral, which has now created suspicions. When the police got to know about the incident, they rushed to the spot, retrieved the body of the girl, and is now sent it to postmortem for further investigation. The Virudhachalam police, who are now investigating the case, say that there is suspicion in the matter, and they are trying to figure out different angles associated to this, whether it was a familial dispute or any other reasons that could have led to the girl taking such a huge, big decision of her life. And the parents at the same time say that the girl was depressed for quite some time now because she was unable to focus on her studies. But the investigation report is awaited to get to know more about what really happened. As we know that the Tiruvallur incident has definitely shook the state, the second consecutive suicide of a class 12 girl has been, creating a huge issue in the state, where you can see that the postmortem has now been completed and the body has been handed over to the family of the girl, and the family has finally, after a huge arguments and discussions with the MLA VGR, finally have accepted to take the body of the girl, and they are apparently now going to their hometown, their native place, Tirutani, where the final rites will be performed for the deceased girl. As this is now an issue that has now been going on in the state for a while, and the Madras High Court has also asked to the CBCID to take over the investigation. The CBCID officials are also here taking over handling the investigation, and right now you can see so many police personnel, more than 100 police officers, and you can see the task force also, more than 500 personnel have been deployed here. They're all taking care of the whole area in Tiruvallur district, in the GH, in front of the GH, so that a law and order situation does not happen once again like it happened last week in Kallakurichi. To avoid such kind of law and order issues, extreme number of task force and police force have been deployed here, and now they will also be continuing the security until Tirutani, where the girl's house is, and until the final rites are performed. The police are saying that there will be complete security tightened so that the law and order is under control, and this is the situation that we are picking up from Tirutani.
என் பொண்ணு பேசல. அன்னைக்கு நைட்டு நாங்கள் ஃபோன் பண்ணோமே, 9 மணிக்கு ஃபோன் பண்ணா, எங்கள் மருமக ஃபோன் பண்ணா, பேசினால பேச்சு இது போல் அண்ணி எனக்கு கைடு ஒன்று அண்ணின்னா சரி நான் வாங்கிட்டு வரமான்னாங்க. போன வாரம் போய் பீஸ் கட்டிட்டு வந்தாங்க, 6000 ரூபாய் திரும்ப பீஸ் கட்டிட்டு வந்தாங்க. ஆம்பளை மனைட்டு போய் இந்த வாரம் நான் வரமான்னு சொல்லிச்சு. இதுக்குள்ளே என்ன பண்ணாங்க, 2வது வாட்டி கைடு என்ன நம்பருன்னு கேட்கலான்ட்டு மறுபடியும் ஃபோன் பண்ணாங்க. மறுபடியும் ஃபோன் பண்ண சிஸ்டர் திட்டினாங்க. திட்டுறதுக்கெல்லாம் என்ன பண்ணாங்க, எங்கள் மச்சின் பொண்ணு பயந்துட்டு வச்சுட்டா போன இது போல் சிஸ்டருங்க திட்டுறாங்க. அதுக்குள்ளே ஃபோனே பேசல வச்சுட்டு ஓட்டா பயந்துன்னு என்ன பண்ணாங்களோ என்னன்னு தெரியல. அதுக்குள்ளே அந்த குழந்தை அடிச்சுட்டுக்கிறாங்கம்மா. குழந்தை உங்களுக்கு என்ன ஃபோன் வருமானு அடிச்சுக்கிறாங்க. அந்த கண்ணத்தில் பிடிச்சி அடிச்சுக்கிறாங்க. அது குழந்தை ஊந்துட்டுக்குதுமா பிடிச்சிம்மா குழந்தைக்கு. அதனால அவங்களே துணியை திரும்ப கட்டி அப்படி வச்சுட்டாங்க. ஓனியோட இவ்வளோ இல்லைம்மா குழந்தை ஓனி எடுத்து கட்டி விட்டுக்கிறாங்க. மேலே இருந்து ஊந்துச்சுன்றாங்க. மேலே இருந்து ஊந்தா குழந்தை கை கல்லனா உடையணும். எதனா ஒன்று எதுவுமே இல்லை. சின்ன கீரலோட இல்லை. மறுபடியும் பூச்சி கச்சிருச்சான்றாங்க. பூச்சி கச்சா விளம்பரம் பத்திரமா இல்லை. அப்பா அம்மாவுக்கு விளம்பரமே பத்தலை. மொத்த கலெக்டர் ஆஃபீஸ்லேருந்து மொத்தம் சொல்லிட்டு போலீஸ்காரங்க இங்கே வந்த பிறகு தான் எங்களுக்கு தகவல்.
They say that only because she was hit on her forehead, the girl has lost her life, and they have faked the suicide. They allege that they have faked the suicide by tying her to the roof, and it is a very bad situation that the family is going on. And this is right now very exclusive to Republic that they say that the parents are the family of the girl. She is also a relative of the girl. She is her father's younger brother's wife, and she says that this is definitely murder. They are alleging that it is murder, and they want justice for the girl. They do not want any kind of government jobs or any other money or compensation or ex gratia that the government is offering. They only want justice for the girl is what the family is telling us. So we'll have to see how the CBCID investigation goes on in this and what kind of reports that they come out with. Will this little girl who's lost her life get justice or not is the biggest question here. Vashni Ramu along with camera person Dilip for Republic from Chennai.
மாணவியருக்கு பால் ரீதியாகவோ மன ரீதியாகவோ உடல் ரீதியாகவோ தொல்லை தரக்கூடிய எத்தகைய இழி செயல் நடந்தாலும் தமிழ்நாடு அரசு நிச்சயமாக சொல்கிறேன் வேடிக்கை பார்த்து கொண்டிருக்கிறது. உறுதியான நடவடிக்கை எடுக்கப்படும். குற்றவாளிகளை சட்டத்தின் முன் நிறுத்தி உடனடியாக அதற்குரிய தண்டனையை பெற்றுத்தரும். எந்த சூழலிலும் தற்கொலை எண்ணத்துக்கு மாணவிகள் தள்ளப்படக்கூடாது. இந்த இடத்துக்கு நீங்கள் வந்திருக்கிறீர்கள் என்று சொன்னால் எத்தனையோ சோதனைகளை கடந்துதான் இங்கே நீங்கள் வந்திருக்கிறீங்க. சோதனைகளை சாதனைகளாக்கி வளர்ந்தாகும்.
On the other side, the outgoing Punjab Attorney General spoke to Republic TV soon after the resignation.
Reading allows us to become familiar with ourselves.
We don't read, we won't know what is knowledge.
I just find it very interesting to know people's lives, how they went through certain situations, how they dealt with things.
So wherever you want to go in life, if you read books along those lines, then that would really help you in growing.
Reading could mean a million different things to every individual. What does it mean to you? Visit readindia.info to find out more.
Wherever you are, whenever you want, Republic Livestream with you everywhere. Republic Livestream, India's #1 streaming news.
You are whenever you want. Republic Livestream with you everywhere. Republic Livestream, India's #1 streaming news.
Wherever you are, whenever you want, Republic Livestream with you everywhere. Republic Livestream, India's #1 streaming news. आज 26 जुलाई है और आज का दिन बहुत खास है। आज के ही दिन कारगिल के युद्ध में हमारी सेना ने भारत की जीत का झंडा फहराया था। आप कल्पना कर सकते हैं, ऊंचे पहाड़ों पर बैठा हुआ दुश्मन और नीचे से लड़ रही हमारी सेना।
Wherever you are, whenever you want, Republic Live Stream with you everywhere. Republic Live Stream, India's #1 streaming news.
Punjab Advocate General Anmol Ratan Sidhu, who was appointed by the Aam Aadmi Party government in March, tendered his resignation today. In his resignation letter sent to Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann, Anmol Ratan Sidhu cited personal reasons as the cause, but Republic held an exclusive conversation with him regarding the same. Listen into what he had to say.
2 लाइनों में दिया मैंने रेजिग्नेशन सारा कि मैं पर्सनल रीजन से कारण आई कैन नॉट कंटिन्यू विद द पोस्ट एंड इट इज़ हम्बली रिक्वेस्टेड टू द ऑनरेबल चीफ मिनिस्टर टू एक्सेप्ट दिस। ये 19 तारीख से ये सारी बात चल रही थी, तो आज भी कल भी जैसे भी है, तो फिर मैंने कहा कि चलो इट इज़ दिया हुआ है, तो मैंने कहा कि मैं अपील भी कर दूं पब्लिकली, है ना, प्रेस के थ्रू कि मेरा रेजिग्नेशन एक्सेप्ट कर लो और मेरे को छुट्टी दो। इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि छुट्टी टोटल दो, तो बाकी मैं कोई और कामों के लिए मेरी जहाँ ज़रूरत हुई तो मैं वहाँ करूँगा, कोई ऐसी।
19 तारीख को आपने रेजिग्नेशन फाइल कर दिया था, उसके बाद चीफ मिनिस्टर के साथ कोई मीटिंग हुई किसी ब्यूरोक्रेट किसी पॉलिटिशियन के साथ?
मेरी होती डेली होती है, इवन नाउ आल्सो मैं चलता रहता है, बातें तो होती रहती है।
रेजिग्नेशन के बारे में भी चर्चा हुई, उन्होंने रोका, कुछ हुआ ऐसा?
नहीं, कोई ऐसी बात नहीं हुई। वो कहा मेरे को नहीं तो फिर मैंने कहा जब मेरे रीजंस ही पर्सनल है तो फिर आदमी थोड़ा सा स्ट्रेस के साथ कह सकता है कि ये एक्सेप्ट।
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 9 years. With top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, mass comm, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
आज 26 जुलाई है और आज का दिन बहुत खास है। आज के ही दिन कारगिल के युद्ध में हमारी सेना ने भारत की जीत का झंडा फहराया था। आप कल्पना कर सकते हैं, ऊंचे पहाड़ों पर बैठा हुआ दुश्मन और नीचे से लड़ रही हमारी सेना, हमारे वीर जवान। लेकिन जीत पहाड़ की ऊंचाई की नहीं, भारत की सेनाओं के ऊंचे हौसले और सच्ची वीरता की।
इतनी ऊंचाइयों पर विजय पाना मात्र गगनचुंबी चोटियों को फतेह करना नहीं है, ये देश की समूची शक्ति को दर्शाता है, हमारी सेनाओं के शौर्य का प्रतीक है।
Wherever you are, whenever you want, Republic Live Stream with you everywhere. Republic Live Stream, India's #1 streaming news.
युद्ध सरकारें नहीं लड़ती, युद्ध पूरा देश लड़ता है। सरकारें आती जाती रहती हैं, लेकिन देश के लिए जो जीने और मरने की परवाह नहीं करते, वो अजर अमर होते हैं। सैनिक आज के साथ ही आने वाली पीढ़ी के लिए अपना जीवन बलिदान करते हैं। हमारी आने वाली कल सुरक्षित रहे, उसलिए वो अपनी आज स्वाहा कर देता है। सैनिक जिंदगी और मौत में भेद नहीं करते, उनके लिए तो कर्तव्य ही सब कुछ होता है।
Wherever you are, whenever you want, Republic Livestream with you everywhere. Republic Livestream, India's #1 streaming news.
Or whenever you want, Republic Live Stream with you everywhere. Republic Live Stream, India's #1 streaming news.
Wherever you are, whenever you want, Republic Live Stream with you everywhere. Republic Live Stream, India's #1 streaming news.
Wherever you are, whenever you want, Republic Live Stream with you everywhere. Republic Live Stream, India's #1 streaming news.
Well, that's all that we could pack in this edition of This Is Exclusive. On the other side, live and breaking with my colleague, our Senior Executive Editor, Abhishek Kapoor.
Thank you, Shawan, and let's hit the ground running with the headlines. Stunning black diary with explosive details emerged in Bengal cash scam. Black diary recovered from Arpita's residence. The Bengal cash scam is only getting bigger. Another TMC MLA, Manik Bhattacharya, has now been summoned. More trouble for the opposition. 19 Rajya Sabha MPs suspended for unruly behavior in Parliament. Unprecedented chaos in the Rajya Sabha. In the latest stunt, papers were thrown at the Rajya Sabha chair. Opposition Vice President candidate Margaret Alva duped in cyber fraud, but she goes on to blame the BJP. India pays tribute to its heroes on 23rd Kargil Vijay Diwas to honor the soldiers who sacrificed their lives in the Kargil War of 1999. All right, breaking news development coming in connection with our defense forces. It's a big Modi government push to enhance India's defense capabilities to minimize the casualties of forces on the LAC and along the LOC. And during close combat, during counter-terrorism operations, the Modi government has accorded acceptance of necessity of acquisition to bulletproof jackets with Indian standard BS6 level of protection. To combat the current complex paradigms of conventional and hybrid warfare at LAC and eastern border, the government has given approval for induction of 4 lakh close quarter battle carbines, among other stuff. Let's go to Gursimran, who's reporting live from Jammu on the development. Gursimran, very important decisions being taken there on the 23rd anniversary of the Kargil War, when India is paying homage to its soldiers on the Kargil Vijay Diwas. Important development there. Please tell us details of what the decision is and how it's going to impact defense preparedness of our forces along our borders.
important decisions that have been taken by the Modi government and the acceptance of necessity that has been given by the Modi government. This pertains to first is the acquisition of the bulletproof jackets of the BIS 6 standard, that is the Indian standard for the bulletproof jackets for the safety of the Jawans that have been deployed along the line of control and line of actual control. Apart from that, the acceptance has already been, accord has been sanctioned for the procurement of 4 lakh close quarter battle carbines for the Indian Army and the Defence Forces that have been deployed along the line of actual control and the line of control with Pakistan. The third decision that has been taken by the government is according the acceptance for the drones, that is swarm drones for the Indian Army. This is to enhance the capabilities of the Indian Army deployed in the LOC as well as the line of actual control. And all 3 decisions are very important, keeping in view the tactical challenges that the Indian Army is facing when it comes to the line of control with the Pakistan and line of actual control, the prevailing situation with the China, because we have seen that since Galwan clashes, India has been into improving its defense capabilities, and this move by the Indian side, a major push by the Modi government, is seen in that direction only, that the Indian government wants to empower the security forces, the Indian Army on ground, so that any nefarious design of the enemy can be foiled. Yes, Abhishek.
Joining us on this special broadcast is senior leader of the Trinamool Congress, Shushmita Dev. She's now in the eye of the storm. Ms. Shushmita Dev, thank you very much for speaking to Republic TV. You're joining us on a day where we've seen a massive ruckus taking place inside the Parliament. I want to start by asking you, what exactly happened inside the Parliament today? If the issue was essentially about price rise, how did it end up with suspension on 19 MPs?
You see, we have been moving a notice, which is the appropriate procedure in Parliament, to say that let us debate and discuss and hear the government on price rise, which is a burning issue. And of course, the way the GST has been implemented on many essential basic commodities, consumables that a common man uses through packaged goods. Now, repeatedly, that request is being denied. And there is no plausible reason why. First, we were told that no, it is a discretion of the chair. Then they said the finance minister is not well. She has COVID. We agreed that it's not fair to expect her to come. But any other minister can hear the debate and reply to it. For instance, the commerce minister or any other senior minister could reply. But repeatedly to deny a burning issue that is impacting the nation in Parliament goes against the basic tenets of democracy. And for us to stand back and allow that is dereliction of our duty as leaders of the opposition. That's the reason we raised our voices, and the order came from the chair saying, why are you all protesting? But we stand strongly firm that it is our right to debate and discuss in Parliament the burning issues, and we will not move away from that. And let me tell you that most of the opposition parties had a similar demand. So I don't think that it is ruckus like you're showing on your scroll. It is a democratic right to demand a discussion, which we have been continuously demanding. It makes a mockery of the parliamentary system, which is repeatedly happening in this parliament since BJP came to power.
You know, Ms. Shushmita Dev, there are visuals of the Rajya Sabha clearly showing that the MPs were not just creating a ruckus. Now, you're taking umbrage because I'm calling it a ruckus because I'm qualifying it. Hear me out. When you are essentially seeing papers being thrown at, but seated themselves on the steps of the well in the Rajya Sabha house. Now, I need to ask you this. Is this how discussions are essentially to be held? Do you really think that the outrage is essentially legitimate when the deputy chairman of the Rajya Sabha, Harivansh, has only enforced Rule 256, which says that the chairman, if he deems it necessary, name a member who disregards the authority of the chair, following which a motion can be passed in the House to suspend a member?
You see, it is one thing to say that it's the authority of the chair, but every authority comes with a duty, Mr. Sen. And that duty is to let the parliamentarians discuss and debate what is ailing the nation. If it is repeatedly denied, if those rights are repeatedly denied, what is it you expect us to do? On the one hand, people say, where is the opposition? Why are they not raising their voice? You know, the Modi government is getting away scot-free with price rise, with diesel and petrol prices going to the rooftop, LPG gas cylinder prices going to the rooftop. Now, what could be a plausible reason? I ask you, if you were inside the parliament and you are asking for a debate on price rise, don't you think that the way the discretion of the chair is being used is unfair to the opposition? No, it is our right. It is our right. It is an age-old principle in parliament that the opposition must have its say, and of course the Treasury bench always has its say because of the sheer numbers. That's democracy. If you repeatedly, session after session, you deny us our right, what happens? Let me give you one example. You saw the kind of protests that happened between when the farm laws were being introduced, debate and bulldozed. Ultimately, what happened? The opposition was proved right. Prime Minister had to take back those laws. If he had listened to the opposition and acceded to our demand of what we were saying, then the Prime Minister wouldn't have faced the embarrassment that he did nationally. That speaks volumes about the way the Parliament is functioning.
Ms. Dev, you are certainly regarded as a very sincere politician, someone who sticks to the rule book. I want to ask you this question because what you really hear from the BJP is that they say that where was democracy when the 7 parliamentarians from the Rajya Sabha were suspended back in March 2010 when they protested against Hamid Ansari for tabling a women's reservation bill. So the question is in the manner in which you raise the question. Once again, let me tell you this. I'm not saying that the opposition should not. Of course, the opposition should be raising questions. But the question is the manner in which it is done. Are you disrespecting the chair?
See, the greatest disrespect to the parliamentary system is to suspend democracy. You have suspended parliamentary democracy and it's happening repeatedly. If you want to compare it to some instance where 7 BJP members were suspended when a bill was tabled, then I rest my case that they too believed in that kind of protest. So at least they should not be the ones criticizing us. See, in parliamentary democracy, you cannot speak against the chair. So I would not like to speak against the chair on a TV debate. But please believe me, Mr. Sen, when I say this has become a pattern. They have almost turned the parliamentary procedure it's almost defunct. Repeatedly we are denied. Repeatedly denied our space, denied our right. And for us to sit there as mute spectators is a greater disservice to democracy, and that's what we think. At least the people who are watching us today should know that price rise, which is breaking the backbone of the common man, is the issue we are fighting for inside, and we are not fighting for some personal issue. This is the duty of the opposition, and I stand strong and I stand tall in saying that demand stands. There should be an immediate discussion on price rise. And why is the government fearful? They have the numbers in parliament. Tell us, give us an explanation. And if they speak, the nation also finds out that what is the reason they can't control prices. The same government that said, "Bahut hui महंगाई की मार, अब की बार Modi Sarkar," they should have the courage to reply to price rise. What are they avoiding? What are they scared of?
One final question, Ms. Dev, I would like to ask you is with regards to the productivity. The Rajya Sabha has essentially seen just 25% of the productivity this session, and you say that this is unfair to suspend 19 parliamentarians for raising questions in the Parliament. You say that we will protest inside and outside the Parliament. Do you really think that this is perhaps in the best interest of the tax-paying citizens? Because at the end of the day, for the tax-paying citizen, they are going to see the visuals that you see right now on the screens, which are essentially going to raise this question. Irrespective of the political parties, Ms. Dev, at the end of the day, for any citizen like us, we are going to look at our parliamentarians who are representing us, who are inside the well. those placards, those dharnas that are basically taking place, I just want you to respond to the tax-paying citizens that do you really think that this was the justified form of protest?
See, Mr. Sen, what is a greater disservice to a country, with a democratic country, which is government of the people, for the people, by the people? I want to tell those people, do you want us to sit in the parliament as mute spectators while they bulldoze us and don't let us speak? You're talking about wasting public money. Those of you who watch parliamentary procedure, they have brought a bill, weapons of mass destruction, okay, prohibition of unlawful activities 2005, which is a 2-line bill, and they're debating it for three days because there is nothing productive that the government is doing. Would the government not be doing a greater service to this nation by debating price rise and discussing how and why that this country is being put through that dilemma? Well, why? I think that would be more productive. So what is productive is also subjective, and it must be out there. The jury is out there to say what is productive. We think it is far more productive to debate a burning issue than a bill which can be easily debated and passed over 2 hours is being dragged in parliament for three days. They have no government business because they are avoiding it. They're dragging it only to avoid the debate on price rise, and that is wrong. That is wrong, and I stand by that. So I want to tell the taxpayers that what we are fighting for is your right. The fact that you feel cornered by this government, the fact that you are suffering price rise, and the fact that the people of this country are being now subjected to GST from the back door on very basic commodities. This is what's ailing the nation, and this is what we are fighting for.
Well, thank you very much, Ms. Shushmita Dev, for putting this into perspective. It's always a pleasure having you on our show.
Thank you.
Been grilled for almost 6 hours till now, so she will leave from ED office shortly. You're watching Republic TV. Stay tuned for more updates on the interim president interrogation.
Polls are expected in Mumbai for the next 4 days. A lot of people over here with tricolors commemorating the victory of Draupadi Murmu.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 9 years, with top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, masscom, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
Wherever you are, whenever you want, Republic Live Stream with you everywhere. Republic Live Stream, India's #1 streaming news.
Wherever you are, whenever you want, Republic Live Stream. With you, everywhere. Republic Live Stream, India's #1 streaming news.
आज 26 जुलाई है और आज का दिन बहुत खास है। आज के ही दिन कारगिल के युद्ध में हमारी सेना ने भारत की जीत का झंडा फहराया था। आप कल्पना कर सकते हैं, ऊंचे पहाड़ों पर बैठा हुआ दुश्मन और नीचे से लड़ रही हमारी सेना, हमारे वीर जवान। लेकिन जीत पहाड़ की ऊंचाई की नहीं, भारत की सेनाओं के ऊंचे हौसले और सच्ची वीरता की।
इतनी ऊंचाइयों पर विजय पाना मात्र गगनचुंबी चोटियों को फतेह करना नहीं है, ये देश की समूची शक्ति को दर्शाता है, हमारी सेनाओं के शौर्य का प्रतीक है।
Wherever you are, whenever you want, Republic Live Stream with you everywhere. Republic Live Stream, India's #1 streaming news.
युद्ध सरकारें नहीं लड़ती, युद्ध पूरा देश लड़ता है। सरकारें आती जाती रहती हैं, लेकिन देश के लिए जो
Alright, pictures coming in of Congress interim President Sonia Gandhi leaving the Office of Enforcement Directorate in Delhi after having been questioned for almost 4 hours now. Let's go to Harsha. She is reporting live from outside the Enforcement Directorate office. Harsha, almost 6 hours of questioning. Any details that you could share with viewers as to what all was asked of Sonia Gandhi and what all Enforcement Directorate wants to verify in the National Herald's case?
Exactly. Today the interrogation and the questioning and grilling which happened with Mrs. Gandhi was clearly different from the last one. The last time when she was called on 21st July. Today the set of questions which were prepared for Sonia Gandhi were regarding the Dotex company, the shell company of Kolkata, and also the loan and the check and documentation evidence if Sonia Gandhi or the Congress anyways have of the loan which they have given to AJ. But today also she was clearly not answering well and she was not feeling well also. She was given a 1 hour break today, but also after that today 6 hours questioning has happened. Though she has submitted some documents with ED giving the documentation of the National Herald, which in 2008 told that because it's in debt, therefore the newspaper couldn't be published by AJL. So all those documents were bought by Sonia Gandhi, which she has given to ED official. But today the grilling happened for 6 hours and it was different clearly as told by our ED officers, ED sources by the last time. Today she was grilled extensively and today intensively she was again and again being answered about the connection between AGL and YIL Young India Limited and how being the 38% share partner she didn't know anything about the takeover of assets of AGL by Young India. So these were the questions which were asked today. Priyanka Gandhi Vadra was also today till 6 hours in the premises of ED office along with her lawyer also. So today after 6 hours of questioning today the day has ended for Mrs. Gandhi, but today overall she was in a tough spot. Yes.
All right, thank you so much, Harsha, for joining us. Sonia Gandhi questioned for almost 6 hours today in 2 rounds by the officers of the Enforcement Directorate in connection with the National Herald case. We would know details in a bit, but it seems the questioning is all set to continue, awaiting a statement from the ED. Moving on, a short break.